Next up is our whiteboard. We will be using a collaborative whiteboard during this course for some interactive engagement. So I encourage you to click on that. And then the last two, I didn't want to include all the demos that I have for this course during this course. I want to give us some time, since things have changed a bit, to look at some of the changes, because Atlassian has evolved their AI since they've launched it. So what it was 6 months ago, 1 month ago, is not what it is today. So I wanted us to have some time to take a look at the new changes. So I have pre-recorded demos that you can look into. So the first pre-recorded demo is an end-to-end workflow. It's about 7 minutes long. It goes from the start of a project to the end of the project. You can see all the AI features you could use in between. They've only doubled since the last time I created this workflow. The last one is for those of you who are interested in learning more about Rovo. It's a brief, maybe 5-minute video. I have to check the timestamp on that one. But it goes from how to use Rovo, how to customize, and how to create your own Rovo agents. And agents have been in the news a lot lately, so that might be something you all are interested in. Now, can AI save us time and push us to work differently? If AI could handle some of your routine tasks, what would you focus on? Do you think that you would be out of a job like, oh, AI will replace me? Don't worry, we're going to show you how AI can enhance your workflows. My name is Dr. Valeri Colón, and this is Atlassian Intelligence plus Rovo.
Welcome to Atlassian Community-Led Learning, where courses meet community. More than just individuals in a virtual meeting, we're a thriving community of practice. Whether you're a seasoned expert or a curious newcomer, we invite you to share your thoughts and experiences as we navigate today's topic. If you have a question, ask it in the chat. If you know an answer, please share it. This approach moves newer users towards the inner circle, guided by those with more experience. To truly grasp the platform, we invite you to sign up for a free plan or join our demo site. Hands-on experimentation is the most effective way to learn. Let's embrace the opportunity to harness our collective knowledge, connect, and most importantly, have fun. Because learning together is a journey of endless possibilities. For information on where to view a recording of this session or download a copy of the presentation, please see the course resources.
Here's our agenda for today.
To create our foundation, let's build product knowledge. After that, we'll play a review game to check comprehension. Throughout the session, I invite you to share your thoughts and questions in the chat. Atlassian Intelligence encompasses all the AI-driven tools in the Atlassian ecosystem. As you listen, think about the project management tasks that consume most of your time. This will help you identify opportunities to integrate AI into your workflows. I've added a prompt in our course resources for you to try later in your favorite GPT. Remember, the more detail you provide in your job description, the more helpful the response will be. Atlassian Intelligence uses large language models to analyze team interactions and create a custom teamwork graph that maps work types and relationships. LLMs generate responses by predicting the most probable next word based on your activity data. While the concept of LLMs has been around for decades, their advanced forms have gained significant attention recently, transitioning from back-end processes to essential tools for business users. I understand that security is a top concern. Atlassian Intelligence, built in collaboration with OpenAI, uses internal models with robust security protocols. Your data stays within your system, respecting user permissions, and admins manage AI organization-wide. ISO certification is in progress. If you have any security questions, feel free to drop them in the comments or visit the website. What does this look like? Let's use RAG architecture as an example of an internal model. First, you prompt the system to perform a specific task. An agent then searches for relevant information in your knowledge base, much like looking for books in a library. In the Atlassian ecosystem, this knowledge base is Confluence. Next, the agent retrieves information from a pre-trained LLM. While the LLM itself remains unchanged once in place, the agent fine-tunes the responses. Think of this process like highlighting sentences in a book to construct an answer to your question. The concept of agents is important for understanding Rovo. Agents in apps like ChatGPT focus on the LLM and its connection to the internet as a knowledge base. However, nested within an ecosystem and with the addition of the teamwork graph, Rovo allows you to use, customize, and even create agents tailored to your business data and needs. I typically reserve ChatGPT for instances when I need to draw from external internet sources, use Copilot when I'm working on Microsoft 365 files for projects that don't involve task tracking, and rely on Bedrock when I need a specialized LLM. The difference between the standard AI features included in Premium and Enterprise Cloud and the Rovo product is that the standard AI optimizes internal workflows with features like Gen AI for content creation, contextual search, task automation using NLP, and virtual agents or chatbots. In contrast, Rovo acts like Atlassian's specialized ChatGPT. It offers deeper data integration and agents for complex decision-making. Rovo can connect with various external data sources like Google Drive and SharePoint, automate complex tasks, support diverse workflows, and provide extensive third-party app integrations, along with detailed knowledge cards for interactive data exploration. Here's a sampling of Rovo agents. Before making a purchase, consider how these agents can be used or customized to meet your specific needs, ensuring you gain maximum value. Think about how Rovo can solve a problem, accelerate a process, or replace existing customizations or plugins.
Now, I want you guys to use the platform as soon as humanly possible. So I'm going to exit out of my slide deck. I'm going to encourage you to, if you can, click on that link for the whiteboard. I have an anonymous hippopotamus already in here. Let's see if my anonymous buffalo can move items around the screen. So any item you can. So one of the latest updates on Confluence Whiteboard is supposed to be the ability for you all to move some objects. I don't see any objects moving though. Now, if you can't move any objects, try logging in and requesting access to our demo sites. Look at the number grow, 11 animals at our zoo. So in this whiteboard, I've included a variety of activities that you can use in order to kind of expand and remind yourself of various different elements of AI, Atlassian Intelligence and Rovo. All down here on the bottom, you have your toolbar. These are sticky notes. This is to click on for text. You can drop text anywhere. You have shapes here. You can connect objects with lines. This is the cards here. And then the thing that I like about this is you can connect to specific Jira issues. I had to open Confluence to move the objects. Yes, make sure you open Confluence. That'll help you. You have to open it in Confluence. The other view is just a web view. And then you have stamps. We're going to use stamps here in a moment, and you can also link out to other sources. So those are the main toolbar features. If you're seeing a really, really tiny whiteboard, I use a scroll bar in my keyboard, and I click Control, and I can zoom in and out. But there's also this plus and minus here at the bottom. You can zoom out and zoom in. You can make copies of various different features and throw it down. The AI features in the whiteboard is here on this upper right-hand corner. You see this Allspark. That is the icon that tells you AI is available. I can summarize everything in this board. Now, there's not a lot of text here, so there's not too much it can summarize, but it does tell you a few different options. On the bottom left-hand corner of the response is the rating feature. You can say, is this good? Is this bad? And then you can create here a Confluence page from whatever you have in the whiteboard. So like say you're having a team meeting and you're diagramming out a strategy, or you're looking at steps to a process. If you come up with solutions and you like it, like, oh, I love the contributions here, you can actually create a Confluence page directly from your whiteboard. All right. So play around with these features if you can. Lealin is throwing up the links in the chat. He's also letting you know how to open this up in Confluence. And on the right here, if you scroll over, you have boxes A, B, C, and D. Go ahead and grab a stamp here, any stamp that you like. I'm going to ask you a question. Let me pull up my questions. And then you guys can test, we can test your knowledge on what you learned. Question number 1. What is the key difference between Atlassian Intelligence and Rovo? A, Rovo provides deeper data integration in AI specialized agents. B, Atlassian Intelligence is an add-on. Or C, Rovo doesn't use AI. If you can't drag and drop your stamp, you could always just hover over your answers because we can see all your cursors. Doom, doom, doom. The Anonymous Snake and Benjamin and Vanessa got it right. It is A. So Rovo provides deeper integration and specialized AI agents. So Atlassian Intelligence are kind of your basic features. They're all throughout all the apps in the ecosystem. And then Rovo is kind of like your internal chat GPT that pulls from your business's custom knowledge bases. Here, we have different features that you can use with AI. So you could use AIs to summarize content. You can use it to define content or define text. You have AI can generate information. You have the virtual agents in JSM, and you have automation. Those are kind of 6 main features. Now, this is for non-technical teams. They're non-technical teams. So I'm not going to go very deep into all of the features that are out there that you can use because there are a ton. This is we're going to just scratch the surface. So from my whiteboard here is in Confluence. I can go and create a space in Confluence. I'm going to do this all live for you. And I can change what's on those pages. And like you see here, whiteboards is one of the options. Can you still see my screen? I hope you can. Yes. All right. So this is my test page. There's many templates that you can use, but in here, first start by editing your page. On the toolbar, you'll see this sparkler icon. This is your write feature. Now it's changed and moved around a bit, but you have all of these options that you could use for AI with writing. So you can change your tone, you can summarize, you can improve your writing. You could use some of your Rovo agents if you have Rovo in there. But these are all your options. You can even translate. I remember when this came out first, I kept asking everybody who was multilingual, how's the translation? Is it good? So you have all of these options. When it comes to sharing knowledge, I'll put information into a page and then I'll change the tone based on the audience to improve readability. Then you have the automations. Usually I use them both hand in hand. So I'll create content on a page and then I'll boost how I share the information using an automation. In Atlassian, in Confluence, they use natural language processing to create automations. Before, it could be challenging to write an automation in a very specific way that makes it work effectively. Now they have given you templates, of course, but they've added the ability to literally just write in by words in conversational language what you want it to do, and it will execute that once you save it. So here it is in this big toolbar here. I want to share with my team. Share this doc. Via email. And then click preview. It'll render the possible automation for you and ask you if ask if you want to execute it. Now, I didn't provide enough detail for the automation to work, but depending on what you want the automation to do, it could save you a ton of time. If you need approvals for various different documents, if you want people to review your processes and give you feedback, and you don't want to continually remind them, you could set it up so that you say, hey, remind this person to do this on this moment, and it's all done for you on the back end. Now, from Confluence, I like going over to Jira. And the power of these tools is that you can use them both together. Here's Jira. So Jira is that piece of the product that helps you manage tasks. And when you think of these tasks, think of the workflows that you need to accomplish whenever you're working. So for example, Hiren and I are on a project for finance, and every morning we have to check in about various different tasks that we use. And they're various routines. So Hiran's a business analyst. I specialize in documentation and training. So when something is done, he can communicate to me via ticket that something is done. When more information is there, we can add a ticket. I'm going to scope on Caleb's project. Thank you, Caleb. And he created this kind of chart. Look at how beautiful. They also upgraded some of the views recently, and they just look so pretty. And so these are all the tickets and tasks that he's created. And you can automate these as well to give different tasks to different people. But if you click on them, you can actually summarize the body of the ticket, which he hasn't added a description, but he could have added a description. If he had, you see this sparkler icon again, I could have it help me write. Ooh. A description for this ticket. And then if I have enough information there for it to grab, now it's telling me I don't have enough details in there. It can help you write the ticket. It can help you create acceptance criteria, or acceptance criteria are the information that the person has to provide in order for you to consider that the task is complete. And then it can even summarize the comments on that. So it's all about connecting your workflows and communicating between different people. Now, it could also suggest subtasks. So say you have a workflow or different tasks that someone has to accomplish in a day, and maybe you forgot one. Well, it'll actually suggest a few for you. And then you're like, oh yeah, we do need to develop an agenda here. So you click on it, and then it'll ask you to confirm a couple of pieces of information, and then it'll create it. Even add a little description in there, and you have another task to do. All right, I'm going to pause here to give you some opportunities to ask some questions. I'll answer any that you dropped into the chat. We're going to have some breakout rooms here in a few minutes. Hiren will take you through Confluence in detail, and he'll actually take you through a Confluence workflow. Lealin will go through Jira, and Caleb will take you through JSM. So Confluence, think about it as your Microsoft Word or your Notepad, your knowledge base. Then Jira is that ticketing system that gives you flow through tasks. If you put your knowledge base links into Jira, anytime someone clicks on a task and wants to change the information that you've provided for that task, they will be led into that page, and they can edit the information there. That way you're not going through different apps. It's all in one system. JSM is kind of your Jira on steroids. It helps you manage various different projects as one. So say you're a marketing director and you have 5 different campaigns. You can oversee those 5 different campaigns and move tickets between those different projects. We have time for one more demonstration of use. This is going to take you through a workflow.
Next, we'll demonstrate a workflow that takes us from project creation to user support while sharpening our critical questioning skills. Critical questioning helps us gather specific information, and combined with critical thinking, these skills are essential in the age of AI. With nearly 20 features across 3 apps, we have a lot to cover. I encourage you to check out our course resources for step-by-step instructions and the option to personalize your learning experience by zooming in, pausing, and rewinding as needed. Please continue to share your questions in the chat. Afterward, we'll have breakout rooms focused on each app, allowing us to slow down and explore the details more deeply. As you navigate the Atlassian apps, look for the bolt icon indicating automation, the sparkler icon for generative AI, and the chevron icon for RovoChat. If you don't see these icons but believe they should be present, it may be because AI isn't enabled for your access level or system. As these features continue to evolve, expect some changes. The goal is for all AI features to function consistently across apps, integrating AI into our workflows throughout the ecosystem. Gen AI navigation appears in 3 main ways: as an icon in a static toolbar, as a floating toolbar that appears when you hover over highlighted text, and via the / key. For full AI options, remember the pencil icon to enter edit mode. Whenever I start a new project, I begin by searching for any existing related documentation in Confluence. With AI search, you can ask specific questions or enter a topic, and it will provide answers along with the sources of that information. Don't forget to click the thumbs up or thumbs down icons to help improve the quality of the responses. Next, I schedule a meeting with key stakeholders to begin formulating the project plan. It's best to use a meeting app with recording capabilities. We have Loom available, but you could also use Zoom or Teams. During this meeting, critical questioning is essential for identifying and clarifying the key elements of the plan. The AI assistant in Loom can take meeting notes and document the next steps. I copy the meeting transcript directly into Confluence, where I can use AI to extract and refine the information into different formats, such as summaries, action items, and user stories. To enhance clarity, AI-powered definitions explain terms and acronyms. If the LLM recognizes a term, it will be highlighted with a rainbow underline. You can also create a glossary in Confluence for business-specific terms. By clicking the Summarize button, AI provides a quick overview. If you're satisfied with the summary, you can easily copy and paste it into your Confluence page. Click the pencil icon to enter edit mode. Then, highlight the text and prompt AI to list the decisions and action items. Through an iterative process, I prompt AI until I have a complete project plan. Atlassian Intelligence offers various predefined prompts, such as improve my writing or change the tone. You also have the option to write or ask anything. I'm going to provide a structured approach for custom AI prompting, also known as prompt engineering, to help you get the best responses from any generative AI. This is another form of critical questioning. Think of prompting AI like ordering at a restaurant. The clearer and more specific you are, the less likely you are to receive a surprise dish. You wouldn't just say food to a waiter and expect to be satisfied, right? Consider task, context, example, persona, format, and tone. You don't always need all 6. Task clearly defines the action you want AI to perform. Use specific and direct action verbs such as create, summarize, suggest. Context provides the necessary background information relevant to the task. This helps the AI understand the scope and specifics of what you need. If possible, include an example to guide the AI on the expected outcome. This can be a template or a previous instance of a similar task. Persona helps specify the intended audience, or you can ask the AI to act a defined character. This ensures alignment with user needs. Describe the format in which you want the output. Include specific structures like table, lists, code, stories, and reports. Indicate the desired tone to match the communication style you want to convey. Let's discuss hallucinations, those moments when AI generates responses that don't quite make sense. If the AI hasn't encountered enough examples or lacks sufficient data, it may fill in the gaps with guesses. Noisy or dirty data indicates that the AI has learned from incorrect or irrelevant information, which can confuse it during response generation. A lack of context can lead to output that sounds convincing but isn't grounded in reality. If the AI isn't given clear boundaries or restraints, it may overextend its imagination, creating content that's more fiction than fact. However, imagination can be beneficial in the right context. Consider harnessing these hallucinations when you need a creative solution or some out-of-the-box thinking. Head over to our Confluence whiteboard in the course resource for some practice. Throughout my projects, I use Confluence whiteboards to brainstorm, gather feedback, and diagram workflows. The ability to insert Jira tickets helps streamline programming logic. Numerous AI features are available, such as organizing boards, generating summaries, converting information into tickets, and updating existing tickets. In the project plan, highlight the text and prompt AI to suggest automations. Then use natural language to set them up. This helps minimize repetitive tasks. Prompt AI to suggest user stories based on meetings and documents. Once the stories are in Jira, AI can help refine them by filling in any missing information and ensuring a consistent format. Now we're moving into the development phase of the project. Use natural language to search for related issues. Quickly get an overview of a ticket by using AI to summarize the comments. Set up automations using natural language, just as we did in Confluence. Ask AI to define test plans for product updates. At this point, you might be concerned that AI will replace your role, but you'll find that even with AI handling many tasks, there's still plenty of work for you to do. Now you can focus on the work that matters. Lastly, use Rovo to draft your release notes. At any time, use the AI in Atlassian Analytics to analyze and visualize the project's health. Now let's move on to Jira Service Management. Use AI to group and prioritize alerts. For answering Tier 1 questions or supporting UAT testing, connect the AI chatbot or agent to a knowledge base, allowing users to receive immediate answers. With AI-powered sentiment analysis, make adjustments to enhance user satisfaction on Tier 2 and 3 support. You can even conduct AI-drafted post-incident reviews, which brings us to the end of our project workflow. But you can access even greater functionality with RovoChat. Find the icon in Confluence, Jira, and JSM. You can customize and create your own agent without any coding required. When collaborating with teams that use other apps like Google Docs or Microsoft 365, Rovo offers a browser extension that allows you to keep your agents. With predictive analytics, AI helps assess risks and optimize resource management by analyzing data for you. Automated task management streamlines workflows and keeps your team organized. AI communication tools enhance collaboration by providing real-time updates and handling routine questions, ensuring everyone stays on the same page. Real-time monitoring allows project managers to track progress instantly, making it easy to adjust as needed. Automated budget tracking helps manage costs efficiently, ensuring your projects stay within budget while still delivering high quality.
Now, let's throw out in the chat, does anyone have a role or position that we could use as an example? What do you hope to use the Atlassian tools for? Or what do you use them for now, if you use them? Prioritize projects on a roadmap. So in Confluence, you have the ability through Confluence and Jira to set up a very detailed roadmap and then track various different projects in that roadmap. But TK Rove, what type of projects are you working with? What industry are you in?
So I'm in an IT department and I am running the planning for the new fiscal year, like all the projects we will prioritize in the new fiscal year. So then it will end up being the roadmap on a Confluence page. But before that, you want to have working sessions where different stakeholders give their input and they vote on like how critical is this, how urgent is this, and then based on the different priorities from the different projects, I'll build out the final roadmap. But that working session in between, I would like to to hear if you have a suggestion of doing that. And it's a long list of projects.
I love this question, and thank you for sharing your use case, because it's always more helpful to discuss these tools and how they're actually going to be used. So there's a lot of new features out there about connecting scale-wise using the Atlassian apps. So, for example, we're doing Agile at scale for some of our projects because our projects are interrelated. So for those of you who are not familiar with Agile, it's just a method of working and producing information at a speed that is a little quicker than what we call waterfall, where it's like you do all the tasks in one topic at once and then you move on to the next. This one, it's like you can manage multiple teams at one time. So if you want to do that communication across projects, you could set up your workflow in JSM and have all of those projects, like as the master overseer of those projects, you can oversee all of those projects individually. And then whoever is the project leads below those projects, you could give them access to those individual Jira project boards and dig deeper there. So let's engineering support. I have no idea what's in these. This is a demo site, so people create all kinds of things. If you get access to this demo site, you could also just create all kinds of things in here. That's what it's here for. It's for you to experiment with. And best practice is to fill in all this information. And if you don't have an idea of like what to fill in, one of the best features about the AI is literally ask your AI. People don't do that enough. Ask your AI. So, hey, I have a project, describe your project, and then say, what should I include as the project description? And then get that response. And if you like it, great, use it. If you don't like it, give it information to improve it. Have that conversation and say, okay, that's not what I'm looking for exactly. This is more, and provide more detail or provide some coaching to get the answer that you're looking for. So what I did was I just clicked in chat right here. And this is your Rovo chat. So if you have that level of license to have Rovo, it's right there with you. If you don't have it there, sometimes I'll open a blank page and I'll put the description. So you see that you have to click edit here. And this is your course resources, so I probably shouldn't do it like this, but I'll ask the chat here and it'll provide me with an answer that I then can copy and paste to whatever portion of the platform that I need to use. So I've created this project. I need my stakeholders to all be on the same page. So what I'll do is I'll go into Confluence, and for each Jira project, you can create a Confluence space. And from Confluence, I'll create a whiteboard like we have for this class. And I'll load up, let's see if I can do it live. I'll load up a plethora of tickets and questions and have a framework to go around it that asks people the questions that you need about that project. So I click create here. My computer runs super, super slow. I have whiteboards here. And literally that's all you need to do in order to create a whiteboard. You have templates that you can use. You could use planning and strategy. So these are pre-created templates that you can then just drop in there. I'll pick one at random. Lean coffee, let's use that template. It'll set it all in here. And you have user, department function. It sets you out that framework, but you can customize this to your specific project. And then say I want to drop in tickets. I can put in those tickets and then I could ask people questions. All right, so what do you think is most important for this project? Let me know your ideas. And then everybody can drop down their comments, and then I click summarize. And it helps me start creating those project plans. So I copy and paste all of their responses. I create my another Confluence page that is specific to that project. And there's not a lot of content in there because I didn't put a lot of content in there, but then I highlight it, and you have to be in edit mode. And then I want to ask AI, help me create a project plan for this topic. And you insert your topic, and then provide some content. What do you want to have in that project plan? And so I want an objective, scope, and define it out. Click enter and see what it suggests, and then keep refining from there. Now I got some questions in the chat. I'm going to take a break from this and see, look at the amount of detail that they can put into this project plan with literally the least amount of information possible that I could put in to a page. And I did this all live in front of you. And of course, you want to go in here, review it, tweak it, and then you can replace the information in that. So it helps you kind of stand up projects faster. To prioritize projects on the pods, what's the best way to practice for setting up a Confluence knowledge base for our virtual agents to use? Thank you for sharing information with each other and answering these questions. Caleb will also go through, and in his breakout room, which we'll go over here in a minute, he will set up an agent for you. And I want to be clear on the agents. So there is the virtual agent that is in JSM. That is like your chat bot that you see on a website. And then there are Rovo agents. Rovo agents are different than your chat box. It does have a chat feature, but it performs a different function. It's more like a chat GPT that you could ask specific information about your knowledge bases, all the information you put into Confluence, all the information you put into Jira. And then it has connectors to external systems that you can query knowledge from various different sources. Whereas that agent that you create, that virtual agent in JSM, is literally just a chat agent that you have predefined responses to different questions. And then you can actually hook that up to a knowledge base as well. So if you have a different approach that you want your agent to take on different questions, you could set that information in there so that it's pulling from the right information and giving you the right response. It gives you control to a feature that you can use it externally. Can the Rovo agent, something about Slack, monitor Slack channels? So you can create a virtual agent from JSM. There is a Slack integration. From my knowledge, it can't just generally monitor all your Slack channels. Your Slack bot can do that, but you can create an agent for a specific channel. So it can have a conversation within that channel. Can it oversee all of your channels? I don't believe it has that functionality like the Slack bot has. You know, that Slack bot? Does that answer your question? I think it was Rodney that asked that. If not, ask a follow-up question. Oh, no, it was Dave. Ask a follow-up question down below. I'm scrolling now.
Yeah, so it sort of answers my question. Basically, what we're having a challenge with is, folks asking questions in Slack channels, and we would like to be able to point them to relevant documentation. And I was trying to understand if a Rovo agent could say, here's a couple of Confluence documents that could help answer your question.
I love that concept. The documentation person in me is so happy that you added some clarification on the context. So in that context, you can set a virtual agent up in JSM, but you would have to do a virtual agent per Slack channel. So it's not like you could do one agent and do all the channels. You would want to do a one-to-one correlation. And then in JSM, and Caleb, if you could show this would be awesome. In JSM, reference those documents. You can set it up, very easy to set up the specific documents you want that virtual agent to pull from for that specific Slack channel. So our Slack channels are project specific. So like there's one on Atlassian, there's one on Workday Adaptive. And so anytime someone asks those questions, they can get that virtual agent expert to answer them. But unfortunately, you can't do just one agent for all the channels. What is the difference between a JSM virtual agent and Rovo? So A JSM virtual agent is kind of like that web chatbot that is connected to one single project in Jira Service Management. And then Rovo is a bit more complex. Can you still see my screen? So this Rovo is across all the apps. It has this icon here. So anytime you see this icon, you can pull up your Rovo agent or your Rovo chat. And you can ask it direct questions about basically anything you like. You can include a document or a link and have it query that information. But you can also set up these agents to do very specific things. So this is the OKR generator. You could have it create those OKRs for you. So can you review a page and create OKRs? And then, so they're very like task orientated, whereas the virtual agent in JSM is you're answering specific questions, kind of like a support desk, if that is at all helpful.
That makes sense. I think I also have the same issue with my organization in Slack where we have a lot of people asking the same questions, and it would be great to have something return resources, but that just to clarify, your answer to that was a JSM virtual agent would be the thing to use, but does Rovo also have those similar capabilities to integrate with Slack, or is that not really the intention for like the use case of Rovo?
That's not really the intention for the use case of Rovo. Rovo is like your Copilot, like your ChatGPT.
Okay.
It's like you're connecting it in that demo that we saw at the beginning of class. You saw the RAG architecture where you ask it a question, it looks into your knowledge base like it is in a library and checks out that book and then assembles an answer for your question. So
Okay.
it's a deeper level of knowledge management, whereas your virtual agent in JSM is just a question and answer, and it's pulling from a page in Confluence. So the difference is a level of complexity and depth. So JSM virtual agent, very basic, very easy, and you want it to be basic and easy because you want it just to manage and identify those pre-listed questions that everybody keeps asking and throwing out those resources. Whereas your Rovo agent, you could ask it and have it do a wide plethora of things. You can connect it to your Google Docs. You can connect it to all kinds of various different knowledge base and create custom content. But
Gotcha.
isn't that Atlassian AI? Dave, these questions, so when these AI came out with Atlassian, that was my major feedback to Atlassian. I was like, can we clarify the difference between all of these tools because they're similar and they're different, and we use the same vocabulary to describe everything. So Atlassian Intelligence are those basic features that you have in Atlassian, and it's that little sparkler icon. Let's see if I can find a place. This little sparkler icon indicates Atlassian Intelligence. It does things like basic writing, translation, improving summary, grammar. It's like your spell and grammar check on steroids. It can do a lot more. It could translate. It's kind of that basic function. Then the next tier up, you have the JSM virtual agent, and that you can communicate and chat with it on a predetermined list of questions. So it's basically looking for a question or a phrase that is similar to that question and responding. Then you go a little higher, and then you have Rovo. Rovo can give you really complex responses to various different questions and tasks. Is JSM virtual agent only for JSM? Yes. Jira is just that ticketing of task and task management. Good question. All right, we have 20 minutes left for this course, and I want you to be able to, let me stop sharing, get into your app groups. All right, so you have some options. You can join Hiren Business Analyst and learn all about Confluence and knowledge bases. You can join Lealin in Jira and learn all about ticketing and like task management and the AI that goes along with it. Obviously, these are all AI related. And then you can learn more about virtual agents with Caleb, our project management. And I don't know if I mentioned Leland, he does data analytics. So if you have any analytics questions and data visualization, throw them at Leland, challenge him.
Go for it. I do like to make math look pretty, so we can go from there.
Awesome. Top secret information. This is the Atlassian Partner Portal. Tons of information here on the Partner Portal, exclusive to Atlassian partners, which we are as Connect Centric. And so here is the difference between Atlassian Intelligence and Rovo. I put some of this into the chat to answer that question, but you're limited to 1,000 characters. And I was like, oh, now I got to edit it. So I edited it a little bit. But someone else asked, what is the difference between the JSM agent and Rovo? Now, there is nothing specific in our Rovo section of our portal that answers exactly that. But what it does is it, again, uses that natural language processing. Come on. Send. To find the answer. And of course, now my screen freezes. But I will send you the response that it gives, and it did give a response. I'll refresh. And it tells you the difference between the two systems. Now, I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. Okay, let's see if nope, it's still loading. Caleb, give us a lowdown of what happened in your room.
I went through some of the best practices between setting up JSM and setting up Rovo, what they're more so used for. One of the big thing, or sorry, rather, two of the big things that I touched upon for setting up a JSM virtual agent is, first and foremost, you should be creating and setting up your virtual agent in a sandbox or staging environment. You do not want to be creating that in an actual production environment. There are a lot of things that can go wrong with a virtual agent when you're creating it. And the last thing you want to do is make a problem for everyone. So just make the problem for yourself. The second one was documentation. You may not be the only one who needs to work on a virtual agent flow, or you may not own a particular virtual agent flow for the duration that it is used. So having it documented and written out in plain English, what each step along the way is doing, that can definitely be helpful when it comes to either transferring ownership or bringing up another person to speed. From there, we moved into because I couldn't show the live virtual agent being created, I went to the Atlassian page that I linked a couple of minutes ago, guiding you through the virtual agent setup process. And I sort of just talked through the high level creation steps, gave it just an example or two of what it is capable of. There's so much more that it can do than I was able to explain in the 10 or so minutes that we had, but that was a good starting point. So that's all that we talked about.
Awesome. And then those who can see my screen, this is the difference according to Atlassian. And you can tell the sources that they pulled the information from. So they got a little bit from the FAQ, they got a little bit from a webinar, from the last team's information. This is all the sources, and I can click on any one of these and get additional information. So I hope that's helpful in seeing how you can ask AI on a regular basis on just some of the things to help you answer some of the questions that you have on a daily basis, but it's all specific to your business information. Hiren, you're next. What's up in Confluence?
Hey, so we briefly touched on the Confluence at a very high level, the navigation around it, and then went details into how to create a new space for your particular projects, then adding your details about business object, your business challenges, and then how you can take that to discovery meetings to get more details, which you will turn into project charter if your organization using it. Otherwise, you dive into it, create all your tasks needed for the project, and then just as a project, show you automation to bug people into continuously email reminders, we ran out of time. But so I had 1 minute to show how automation works using the natural language to type in what is it you want. In this case, it was email reminder for any tasks that were identified and not completed.
I got a request to see the difference between Atlassian Intelligence and Rovo, so I put that back up on the screen. Any question that you asked in the chat, I pull all those questions out and I post them so you could see them. Also, it's 1 o'clock, so I gotta remind you, we're gonna throw those links up in the chat. You get a special AI badge, and if you respond to any comment on our community board tomorrow during Valentine's Day, you will get a special heart badge as well. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1 deal. Close us out, Lealin, with our last final words and your update on Jira.
So when it came to Jira, we had some great questions in the chat. We mostly went over the Jira search as well as how JQL can be translated into natural language. We played around with the Rovo chatbot a little bit to show some things that can be helpful for Scrum Masters when it comes to what people's tickets are. If they're in a to-do section, you can see a lot of insights that way. We had questions about migrating Trello into the Jira environment and being able to organize it as a new manager, and just how to maximize things for Scrum teams. So we, again, within that 10 minutes, showing stuff off and then taking in those questions. We didn't have too long for the discussion, but I think hopefully everybody got some stuff out of it.
Thank you guys. I think you guys did awesome. You always do amazing. Thank you for doing the breakout rooms. I look forward for you guys to participate next month. No pressure. And I'll make the breakout rooms longer. Any questions from our audience before we close out? I'll throw up those links again in the chat so you can get your badge and any resources that you need. If there are no questions, I'll see you all next time. Thank you for coming.